पूरा। अब कहाँ से आए थे, क्यों आए थे मालूम नहीं। रावण का पाताल, मतलब अब ये सब मनोहर कहानियां, सत्य कथा विशेषांक वगैरह नहीं होते, ये उसका टेलीविजन तर्जुमा है। हम जहां पर हैं, हम एक फैमिली न्यूज चैनल है, इसलिए हम नुकसान भी उठा रहे हैं। हम ये नहीं कहते कि हमें नुकसान उठाना मंजूर है। हम नंबर 1 चैनल होना चाहते हैं, हम और मुनाफा कमाना चाहते हैं, ताकि जितने लोग हमारे यहाँ काम करते हैं हम उनके लिए और बेहतर सुविधाएं भी दे सकें और खुद भी ज्यादा कमा सके। इसमें कोई बुराई नहीं है। पैराडाइम शिफ्ट की मैं बात कर रहा था। अभी कुछ साल पहले तक छोटी छोटी नुक्कड़ पे, पान की दुकानों तक पे लिखा होता था, उधार मांगकर शर्मिंदा ना करें, उधार प्रेम की कैंची है। अभी एक फारसी की कहावत है, कर्ज मिकराजुल मोहब्बत, उसका हिंदी तर्जुमा है, उधार प्रेम की कैंची है, नकद बड़े शौक से, उधार चांदनी चौक से। ये लिखा होता था छोटी छोटी दुकान पर। आज के दिन क्रेडिट कार्ड क्या है, उधार नहीं है तो ठीक है। अब मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि जो कुछ हो रहा है बाजारवाद में सब कुछ अच्छा ही हो रहा, ना, बिल्कुल नहीं कह रहा हूं। लेकिन इससे पहले जो था, समाजवाद के नाम पर एक दूध की बोतल के लिए 4-4 घंटे आप इंतजार कीजिए, एक टेलीफोन के लिए आप 5 साल इंतजार कीजिए। OYT स्कीम हुआ करती थी, ऑन योर टेलीफोन। नॉन OYT स्कीम हुआ करती थी, डॉक्टर्स कोटा होता था, टेलीफोन एडवाइजरी कमेटी होती थी। एक स्कूटर लेने के लिए आपको 5 साल इंतजार करना पड़ता था, एक कार के लिए आप 7 साल इंतजार कीजिए। डिनायल वॉज एन अनस्टेटेड इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी। डिनायल, लोगों को एम्पावर मत करो, कमजोर रखो, सबसिस्टेंस लेवल पे रखो। वो अजीत का जोक आपने सुना होगा, इसे लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन में डाल दो, लिक्विड इसे जीने नहीं देगा, ऑक्सीजन इसे मरने नहीं देगी। तो एक इस ढंग से पूरा चलाया गया इस देश को करीब 15 साल तक। आज हालत थोड़ी बदली है, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम बिल्कुल बेलगाम होकर बाजारवाद के गुण गाते फिरें। लेकिन अगर कुछ बेहतर हुआ है तो ये भी मानना पड़ेगा, इसके साथ इसकी अपनी जिम्मेदारियां भी हैं और वहीं पर मीडिया का रोल आता है। मैं ब्रीफली, बहुत संक्षेप में मैं समअप करूंगा। मैं सिर्फ यही कहूंगा कि आप जिस क्षेत्र में जा रहे हैं, द फील्ड यू गोइंग टू एंटर, मीडिया, शुरू शुरू में लालच बहुत आएंगे, क्योंकि नए नए यंगस्टर्स, हम भी जब जवान थे इसमें गए थे मीडिया में, हमारी आंखें एकदम भौचक्की रह गई थी, अरे इनको तो हम अखबार की फोटोओं में देखा करते थे, आज इनके साथ बैठे हुए हैं। तो वो भी अपने आप में एक बड़ा मतलब संभल के चलने वाली बात है इसमें। वरना तो बहुत बहुत लोग हैं जो आपको प्रलोभन देना चाहेंगे, आपको एंटरटेन करना चाहेंगे, आपको गिफ्ट देना चाहेंगे, वो कॉर्पोरेट्स हों, कंपनियां हों, नेता हों, जो भी हो। तो आपको ये मानकर चलना है कि कोई मिशन वगैरह की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं कि आप बिल्कुल आप सिपाही की तरह चल रहे हैं ना। आपने अपना काम करना है, अच्छा काम करना है, बढ़िया काम करना है। अगर आप बढ़िया काम करते हैं, आप में काबिलियत है अच्छे काम करने की, दुनिया की कोई ताकत आपको हिला नहीं सकती, कहीं पर भी नहीं हिला सकती। और अगर आप भी औरों की तरह प्रलोभनों में आ गए कि मंत्री ने बुलाया है या MLA ने बुलाया है, उसने कंधे पे हाथ रख दिया, उससे ये काम करवा लो, उससे ये फेवर ले लो, तो फिर मुझे आपका 10वां साल भी सही नहीं लग रहा कि 10 साल बाद आप क्या करोगे। यू विल बी वन ऑफ द thousands of people who are crawling all over. Briefly, आपसे ये कहेंगे कि as Dilip also said, there are a lot of challenges, but there are a lot of opportunities also. और अगर मुझे दोबारा मौका मिलता है कि मेरे सामने फिर, और आप 37वां साल है मेरे टेलीविजन में, कि मेरे सामने 37 साल और हैं टेलीविजन करने के, तो मैं टेलीविजन करूंगा या कुछ और करूंगा, मैं मीडिया ही करूंगा। It gives you a certain high, it reinvents you every day. Once you enter a newsroom, the energy is so charging. आपका हमेशा हमेशा पुनर्विष्कार होता है, रोज का रोज नया दिन है। You're as good or as bad as your last telecast. So your medium will make you work. Your medium will make you strive towards excellence. So I wish you all the best. Any questions, please?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And just take it from where Vinodji said. I'm a big fan of his because he's an amazing anchor. I've been seeing from years and years. But I take strong offense that he says that a journalist should just be relegated to journalism and not get into activism. And in fact, he also mentioned that this tarnishes the image of a journalist. But what he is talking of is getting pally to ministers and MLAs. But when a journalist is working for the common man, and the time has come now, because the prevalent journalism is absolutely mediocre, and what we need is a relevant journalism. For example, pre-independence, the newspaper's role was to bring in patriotism amongst the entire community. And at that time, if you talked of some sari fashions or potholes, nobody would have really given a damn to it. So similarly, journalism needs relevance, and that relevance keeps changing from period to period. And now the duty of a journalist or a newspaper does not stop at mere reporting. In fact, Duaji also takes up so many campaigns, public campaigns himself. I mean, even as in the role of an anchor, he only does not report. So what is required, and the Express Citizens Forum, which the Indian Express Pune launched in 1990, was a prime example of how a newspaper could go beyond the news columns, steer a public campaign. I'll give many examples of that in my afternoon session, and yet remain a journalist. I mean, when you are, what you are doing in this case, you are empowering a common man, first by amplifying his cause, and thereafter kind of, forming a pressure group with the authorities, be it the Pune Municipal Corporation or be it the state government. So I just think that journalism has to change, and how it can change without, like Duaji, what he's saying is right. Like, you can have some shady deals with the MLAs and MPs, become their good friends, and maybe, write something to campaign for them against some other party. That is absolutely wrong journalism. But if we take the tool of the Right to Information Act, and then go about, doing your stories and even campaigning for the public, you continue to remain a genuine journalist, because not many know that, which I, always also propagate through my forum, which is the RTI Forum for Instant Information, that when you use Section 4 of the RTI Act, it gives you the right to do inspection of files in a government office. So, like Dilip ji said, that instead of saying this one said this and that one said this and form 5 courts in your day ends as a reporter, what we do is that first we procure the documents as much as possible, and then we grill the officers. So, for your new journalists, all of you are here with all the bright faces, you have a formidable tool that by procuring 100% information, that you can tell the readers the truth, you can propel a change just by writing over and over again over the same issue, because the government cannot give excuses, because all the truth is there in black and white. That is one aspect. The second aspect is that nowadays we have what I say is exclusive journalism, not inclusive, especially the English newspapers, in which the Indian Express always was a crusade kind of a newspaper, but then even it kind of fell into a trap of you should write what the decision makers love to read. Why not the faceless common man? So much of exclusive journalism has come into it, so much so that it is not just my theory sitting in the newsroom, but one youngster who worked with 2 prominent newspapers. She just left journalism. She told me that the second day she was given a presentation in which she was told that there are 4 classes of readers, Section A, Section B, C and D. Now Section A belonged to Mukesh Ambani, celebrities and all. Section B belonged to the upper middle class, and then they said Section C and D we generally don't touch unless and until it indirectly concerns the A and B, that is traffic jams because of protests by the economically weaker class, etc., etc. She was in the night desk and she would be given 5 photographs and said the third one should definitely be used because it is paid. So that means I'm not painting really a tarnished picture of journalism overall, but the point is that this is sort of becoming convenient for young journalists, and therefore I think the relevance of journalism even in teaching, like Dilip ji just was talking to me before this, and he's going to start a very interesting experiment in Pune, where he's holding the chair in the Symbiosis International University. You'll hear more of it later, I suppose. So that's one thing I feel, that there should be inclusive journalism, especially in this time of corruption of such large magnitude. And I should say it's thanks to the television that the magnitude of corruption is shown to the common man, and since reading has become a sparse habit, in the drawing room they have come to know what the people in power are doing. So at the background of this corruption, shouldn't journalism change? It should. It should become proactive, but like Dwaji said, not by dealing shadily with ministers and MLAs, but by empowering the common man through your own efforts of invoking the Right to Information Act. Then the other is well, curiosity that Dilipji just said, and I don't think I need to say any more. Just that, you know, the journalism that I have been pursuing since 1987 had everything to do with, you know, empowering a citizen and making a difference, making a change in the society. You cannot change the entire nation by, you know, say changing all the political leaders, but wherever you are, how you can benefit the community by hard work and by finding out the truth, and now Right to Information Act is at your disposal. Thank you so much.
मेरा सवाल विनोद दुआ जी ने जो कहा उस संदर्भ में है। मैं पॉलिटिकल साइंस की असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर हूँ, मैं मीडिया स्टूडेंट नहीं हूँ, मैं मास मीडिया को पढ़ाती हूँ। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आजकल हमारे यूथ के बीच पॉलिटिकल जर्नलिज्म में बिल्कुल भी रुचि नहीं है। दे डोंट हैव एट ऑल इंटरेस्ट इन पॉलिटिकल जर्नलिज्म। सो व्हेनेवर आई आस्क देम टू कम रीडिंग द न्यूज़पेपर, मैं जब भी कहती हूँ कि आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़कर आइए, नेक्स्ट डे जब मैं पूछती हूँ कि आप मुझे मेन न्यूज़ स्टोरी बताइए, तो एक दिन मेरे स्टूडेंट्स ने बताया कि ऐश्वर्या राय प्रेग्नेंट है। मैं चाहती थी कि वो मुझे बताएं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने सलवा जुडम पर क्या जजमेंट दिया। सो इंफोटेनमेंट जर्नलिज्म को धीरे धीरे खाता जा रहा है। मैं अगर स्टूडेंट से पूछूं तो वो सब ग्लैमर रिपोर्टिंग करना चाहते हैं, स्पोर्ट्स रिपोर्टिंग करना चाहते हैं, कोई भी पॉलिटिकल रिपोर्टिंग नहीं करना चाहता। तो ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? व्हाई दिस इज हैपनिंग? डज नो वन इज इंटरेस्टेड इन पॉलिटिकल रिपोर्टिंग?
जहाँ तक मुझे समझ में आता है, मैंने ये देखा कि जो जनरेशनल चेंज हुआ है, मेरे 2 बच्चे हैं, आई हैव 2 daughters, उनकी उम्र आप जितनी होगी, one is 26, the other is 22+, alright? जब हम उस उम्र में थे तो सरोकार जो हुआ करते थे, कंसर्न्स, वो दूसरे हुआ करते थे, क्योंकि डिनाइल बहुत था, जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज बहुत कम थी उस वक्त। या तो आप IAS IFS में जाइए, या आप सेंट्रल सर्विसेज IPS वगैरह, स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया प्रोबेशनरी ऑफिसर एक रास्ता होता था। MBA को भी लोग शक की निगाह से देखते थे कि एक नया कोर्स आया है, ये क्या होगा, इससे कुछ करियर बनेगा या नहीं बनेगा, ठीक है। तो एक तो अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बहुत ज्यादा थी उस वक्त, अपॉर्चुनिटीज भी बहुत कम थी, तो सरोकार दूसरे हुआ करते थे, कंसर्न्स दूसरे हुआ करते थे। मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा कि अनजाने में या ना चाहते हुए, हमारे सामने मतलब ये बहुत ही प्राकृतिक स्वाभाविक था कि हम पॉलिटिकल हों, जो पॉलिटिकल डिस्कोर्स चल रहा है, संवाद चल रहा है, उसमें हम रुचि लें, उसमें हम शामिल हों, एक पोजीशन लें, वगैरह वगैरह। अब जब मैं देखता हूं अपने से बाद की जनरेशन को, जैसे मैंने पहले कहा, एक पैराडाइम शिफ्ट हो चुका है, उनकी जिंदगी बिल्कुल दूसरे किस्म की है। हमारी जिंदगी ये होती थी कि हमारे पापा की पैंट से हमारी निक्कर बनती थी, हमने मटके से पानी भी पिया है, तो मटके से लेकर रेफ्रिजरेटर का जो एक पूरा वो सफर है, वो हम उसके गवाह हैं। अब की जो जनरेशन है, मेरे ख्याल सुविधाएं बहुत हैं उनके पास। तीसरे, एक सामूहिक नाराजगी है, कलेक्टिव डिस्गस्ट है, कलेक्टिव एंगर है सियासी जमात, नेताओं की जमात को लेकर। कोई अब लोगों ने, पीपल हैव स्टॉप्ड लुकिंग अप टू, मतलब पेडेस्टल पे बिठाकर जैसे पूजा होती थी कि अगर कोई, विनीता, आई एम नॉट रेफरिंग टू योर असर्शन, अगर कोई संपादक सच का मसीहा बन गया, बिकॉज ट्रूथ इन्वॉल्व्स अस ऑल, तो वो उसको भगवान बनाने की वो प्रवृत्ति हुआ करती थी। भाई अगर आपका सच से लगा हुआ तो आपका निजी शौक कह लीजिए, आपकी निजी समस्या कह लीजिए, निजी एट्रीब्यूट कह लीजिए, इसमें किसी को कोई भगवान बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो एक तो कोई ऐसा है नहीं, पीपल हैव स्टॉप्ड लुकिंग अप टू पीपल नाउ, लीडर्स, स्पेशली यंगस्टर्स। तीसरे, जैसे मैंने कहा, बड़े अरसे बाद हम खुल के कह पा रहे हैं कि हम और कमाना चाहते हैं। मुनाफा गाली होती थी पहले, अब गाली नहीं है, अब मूल्य है, वैल्यू है एक। वरना सरकार पर निर्भर कीजिए, ग्रांट्स पर निर्भर कीजिए, जो हम नहीं होना चाहते हैं। तो आज जो है, मैंने ये देखा है कि यंगस्टर्स, आप बेहतर जानते हैं, they want to make their life better and better. Aspirations have changed, आकांक्षाएं जो हैं वो बदल चुकी हैं। वो एक अच्छी जिंदगी अपने लिए चाहते हैं, और जब बाद में अगर वो विवाह करने का फैसला करें, अपनी फैमिली रेस करें, तो उसके लिए भी अच्छी जिंदगी चाहते हैं, अच्छी पढ़ाई लिखाई चाहते हैं। और ऐसे में जब ये बातें सामने आती है कि अमर सिंह भी एक है, यहाँ पर सुरेश कलमाडी भी एक हैं, CWG स्कैम हुआ है, 2G स्कैम है, ए राजा है, कनी मोई है, डिस्गस्ट होता है लोगों को। मेरा ख्याल ये कारण है कि लोग राजनीति में इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है, और अगर ग्लैमर में भी इंटरेस्टेड हैं तो उसमें कोई बुराई नहीं लगती मुझे।
The locus, that is to say the center of power and of authority, has been shifting. It has been shifting first and foremost from the state. The state was all powerful. From the state to the market. As and when economic reform started in right earnest, there was this first shift of the role of the state being diminished and the role of the market gaining an ascendancy. Number two, government has been losing progressively its prerogatives, and it is civil society which is beginning to assert itself. That's the second major trend. The third major trend, because of democracy itself, is that Delhi used to be all powerful until 25 years ago. Today, it is the state capitals that are becoming far more important than Delhi. To give you one example, I remember 20 years ago when I edited the Times of India, every time I flew from Delhi to Bombay, I would meet businessmen who had to come early in the morning from Bombay in order to meet some deputy secretary to push a little paper. Now it is the other way around. Now secretaries to the government of India are coming to Bombay in order to talk to businessmen, industrialists to invest. So Delhi's importance has gone down. That's the third major thing. The fourth major thing is, again because of democracy, the upper caste hold on Indian society has been shaken because people lower down the social ladder have begun to assert themselves. Fifthly, we were an inward-looking society until about 25 years ago. We feared the outside world. Partly this was because of the memories of partition, the war which we lost with China, all that put together. We have become increasingly an outward-looking society. The large number of Indians who work abroad, whether it is in the Middle East or elsewhere, and who send remittances and who still have links, the Indian middle class has completely opened up. The next major change has been in the demography of India. 70% of our population is less than 35 years old. You've got to understand the implications of all this on politics, on society, on media, etc. We were also taught to believe, as Vinod said, that you had to be non-aligned. You see, which means what? That you never took a stand really. Today, after the collapse of the Soviet Empire, India has got much more freedom to deal with all the superpowers, the way it never did earlier. Correct. Then there are two other barriers. The one for me which is very important is increasingly, and this is not apparent yet, but it will soon be apparent, a man-centric India is giving way to a woman-centric India. There is a gender balance that's coming up. All you've got to do is take last year's results for the All India Civil Services. Take results for the IIMs, the IITs, the top universities. The number of women who are in the top bracket has been going up steadily. If you take all these factors together, now you might say, look, what is the relevance to my question? The relevance to the question is that you have to contend with new challenges and new realities. All right, and to directly answer your question, are you happy? I, who ran a paper where my sub-editor would never think of putting a film actress on page 1, if you ask me today, are you happy that Aishwarya Rao's pregnancy was page 1? I'd say I'm delighted. Because I would rather, I know that a lot of younger people would read this, they might condemn the media for putting it there, but in fact the first thing they will read when they get the paper is Aishwarya Rao's pregnancy and not what Kapil Sibal has to say about higher education, which is what we did earlier. All right? The fact of the matter is that the world over, there has been a basic shift in the way people communicate. And if you ask me what that basic shift is, it is that everything has entered the entertainment mode. The minute you have an entertainment component which is so strong, then among the first things that happen is you become celebrity driven. All right? And I'm sorry it's not meant as an offense to Vinita Deshmukh, but I can tell you that there are many more people who would rather see Aishwarya Rai on page 1 than, let us say, Medha Patkar. Though Medha Patkar is espousing wonderful causes, but the thing is that if you've got to make those choices, then you make them choices, because today's readers, it's not just journalists who've changed. Your readership has changed. Your viewership has changed. And my final comment is even about celebrity journalism. All right, excess of sports and cricket, excess of Bollywood. A time is going to come, because that is the way markets operate, when there is going to be what I call a fatigue of the frivolous, a fatigue of the shallow, a fatigue of this kind of gossip mongering that goes, because people up to a certain age would still want a bit of that gossip. But there will be a time when you will get a readership which will demand that we want a different kind of journalism. And again, I don't wish to wish name, because I belong to a paper which is today, in both in terms of numbers and in terms of profitability in the print media, the most important one. But there are newspapers which have tried to espouse causes, and page after page, the one thing that strikes you is that there's no advertising. Because advertisers, as a rule, do not want to advertise in what I call a hostile editorial content. All right, that's been the general rule. So you've got to strike a balance. You can't go the whole hog in one direction. And striking a balance is what the finest newspapers, magazines, television channels, and radio do. But even that is going to change, because the latest statistics tell you that in most Western countries, everything is flowing to the internet. Classifieds in Goa newspapers still have an important role, because in one paper this morning, I saw 6 pages of classifieds. All right. Now, 6 pages of classified in Goa is all right, because it has a direct bearing on the penetration of the internet in Goa. But you wait for another 5 years when people have access to the net, and you will find that that shift has taken place. Classifieds will go out. Everything is becoming customized. If tomorrow you want to buy a pet, you can go down to the last detail of the kind of pet, the color of the pet, the weight of the pet, the size of the pet. All that with a click, you can get that information which no one in the traditional media will be able to give you. And I hope very much that in the kind of instruction you receive in your colleges, the technological side is kept in mind, because it is changing everything. Those of you who followed the Jasmine revolution in the Middle East would know that young people were able to mobilize people by the thousands on SMSs, on Twitters, on blogs, etc., etc. This is happening in the Middle East, where again, the penetration of the net isn't very high. And there is no doubt in my mind that this is something going to be a tool to be informed and to inform and to mobilize along with the traditional media, because there is no substitute for the traditional media. No matter what, and particularly in a country like India, newspapers will continue for a long time to come. That's also because you're getting every year several million people who are neoliterates. And the neoliterates begin by taking to local newspapers, local language newspapers. And therefore, for the past 15 years, the fastest growth rates have not been in the English language papers. Growth rates have been in the regional language papers. This is a normal thing. But then English is an aspirational language. So very soon in the family, the local language paper is read by the mother and the father, but the children will want to read an English paper. And these things changes have to be kept in mind. So celebrity-driven journalism, all right, there will be reams and reams on Rahul Dravid. because that's what people read. All right. I think Rahul Dravid will have more comment on his decision to opt out of the ODI than Anna Hazare's decision to fast not in one part of Delhi but another part of Delhi. All right. Now, instead of condemning this kind of trend, you know that eventually it all balances off. My last comment is, you've just heard a certain dissent, which is a good thing. One saying that, I only want to